Congratulations! You have completed your application for the highest degree achievable in the FFA organization. State associations screen the applications before they send them on to nationals. Myself and Ms. Emily King at the FFA office went through each of your applications. I am here to cover some commonly made mistakes. Objectives. In this presentation, I will be covering some of the commonly made mistakes, such as making sure your SAE projects are in the right categories, being descriptive, specifically covering common mistakes throughout the application, and mistakes that we saw in the applications with animal SAE projects and in placement SAEs. Common mistakes that are made in the community service portion of this application, and I have also included a few helpful links. So let's get started. Correct category. As we were going through the applications, we noticed that some SAE projects were placed in the wrong category, or due to lack of information, we were unsure what category the SAE belonged in. For instance, there were a lot of animal projects that we were unsure if the student owned the animal or if it was a chapter animal. Remember, if you own the animal, then your SAE falls into entrepreneurship. Make sure if you are using the research category that your SAE is a scientific experiment. There were some applications that used this category when their project fell under placement or entrepreneurship. Last, make sure you have at least 3 years of SAE projects. They can be in different categories. For instance, if you have 2 years of entrepreneurship and 2 years of placement, that would meet the minimum 3-year requirement. Be descriptive. Write as if you were talking to someone that has no idea what FFA or SAE is. Do not assume that the person reviewing your application will know what an acronym means. For instance, if you're talking about Central Florida Fair, you would not want to write CFF. When I Google CFF, I get everything from Cystic Fibrosis Foundation to Certified Finance Forensics. Your SAE description does not have to be long, but needs to explain what you did during your project. On the next slide, I will cover several examples. Animal projects. Many students wrote the name of the animal and that was it. Tell us if Fluffy was a heifer or a rabbit. Make sure you are writing the species. If you have a market or show animal, write what shows or fair you took the animal to. Placement SAEs. Many students just wrote their employer or their job title. Make sure you're including your employer or company that you worked for, your title, and your duties. This is a portion of a sample application from the National FFA website. As you can see, the descriptions are not long, but reading the information, I am able to understand what this student did in their internship. They have their employer listed, their job title, and a description of their duties. Here is another example from my sample application from National FFA. Looking at the example, the student wrote swine and beef for their project. There are also no names of the animals, just the species. Community service. This area got a lot of students. Make sure you have 3 distinctly different community service activities. You cannot just have that you did Relay for Life for 3 years in a row. A good example would be Relay for Life, coaching a youth baseball team, and beach cleanup. You cannot use activities where you are supporting an organization you belong to, such as FFA, church, or a sports team. You can use community service that you did with FFA, your church, sports team, etc. For instance, if you were with your FFA chapter to serve Thanksgiving meals for the Salvation Army, that would be an acceptable activity. On the next slide, I will cover a few more specific examples from National FFA. This table was taken from the American Degree Community Service Guide from the National FFA website. On the left, they give unacceptable examples, and on the right, there are acceptable examples. I won't read them word for word, but I do recommend looking over this page. Helpful links. On this page, I've included a few helpful links. The resource page has multiple links to assist you with your application. The handbook and community service guide are good tools to reference as well. If you need any further assistance or there were any corrections on your application not mentioned in this presentation, please reach out to Miss Emily King at the Florida FFA office. I have included her number below on the slide. Thank you, and once again, congratulations for completing your American Degree application.